Well, here we are again, ranking every single MCU movie part 2. And since part 1 did really well, I figured we'd cover one of the more controversial parts of the MCU this episode. That being the post Endgame era. This was a very upsy downsy phase for the MCU. They had a lot of good projects, but also a lot of bad ones. Not to mention all that stuff with Jonathan Majors and Kang, which never happened, and all of that, and a bunch of bad movies and TV shows. But I'm pretty sure that there was more good stuff than bad stuff in this phase, so let's find out. So, before we get started, here's a little quick reminder that this is all my opinion and it's spoiler free. So, if you're someone who wants to watch the MCU and you want to know if it's good or not, then maybe you should watch part 1 and then this part to see if you want to watch it or not. So anyway, on with the video, and it looks like we're starting with Spider-Man Far From Home. And to be honest, this movie gets way too much hate. I think it's pretty enjoyable, and all the cast does a solid job. I think Mysterio is a bit underutilized, and I think they definitely shouldn't have killed him off because he could have been a good villain for future Spider-Man films. But anyway, really overhated, but not perfect, so S tier. I mean A tier, sorry. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Black Widow kinda sucks. Not the character in the movie. I did like some things about this movie, like Yelena's introduction and Alexi's introduction. I think they're both great characters and I love them in Thunderbolts. But this movie, as a movie, just kind of sucks. The story's really bland and flat, and the same goes for the villain. Taskmaster just sucked ass. So, just for that, B tier, because it is still somewhat enjoyable.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Thank God for Shang-Chi. This was the first truly great MCU movie that we got since Endgame. It is very hated, which I don't understand. I love this movie. Simu Liu is great as Shang-Chi, and the rest of the cast does a really good job other than Awkwafina, but I do hate everything that she is in. Yeah. Except this. This is a really good movie with a really good story. And although the effects were iffy at sometimes, I did think that this is a very good movie and I enjoyed it a lot. S tier.
Oh, okay.
I actually do not want to talk about this movie. There are only 3 things I want to say about this movie. I hate it sucks, and I hate it. Recommendation, don't watch it, it's a waste of 2 hours. And 43 minutes or something stupid like that. There are actually a lot of people who don't like this movie, and there is a name for those people. It's wrong. I mean, if you don't like this movie, then fine, that's your opinion. But it's like saying the sun is made of water. It's just not. This movie is perfect. It's hard to leave a review without spoilers, but it's a wonderful conclusion to the Home trilogy. And if you want to watch it, I recommend watching the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield movies beforehand, and the Venom ones if you have time. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a really lackluster movie. It doesn't do anything that we haven't seen before in any other MCU movies. It's just really bland, and so is the story. And the main problem with the movie is that the characters aren't that important to the plot. Obviously, the main characters are, but a lot of the side characters just aren't important. So yeah, even though this movie is enjoyable at some points, it's not the greatest thing that Marvel's ever done. So I'm gonna have to give it a B tier. Thor Love and Thunder is a really, really bad movie. There are no redeeming features about it. Well, actually, there are a few. There are some parts where it is funny, and the soundtrack is really good, but the needle drops kind of suck. The acting in this movie is kind of solid all round, but I'm afraid they didn't quite do everything that they could with Christian Bale. They really wasted his character. And the storyline, it could have been a much better movie, but, the problems with the director and the acting and stuff. Even though the ending is kind of satisfying and it does lead into Doomsday, nothing about this movie really pops other than the colours. It's way too colourful, and most of the time it just looks like a stupid rainbow, which makes it hard to follow the actual plot. And the parts where it doesn't look like a stupid rainbow, it looks like a PNG. So yeah, this movie sucks, but it is kind of enjoyable, so I might have to give it a C tier. Black Panther Wakanda Forever can be described in 3 words. Awesome, but depressing. It's really sad that Chadwick Boseman wasn't able to be in this movie, rest in peace. He was a great actor, but anyway, we gotta review the movie now. So, this movie was mainly a funeral for Chadwick, but it also had a plotline to it, which wasn't half bad. It was quite good, and the acting was solid. The way they said goodbye to Chadwick Boseman was really beautiful, and to be honest, I don't think they could have done it in any better way. This movie gets a lot of hate because Chadwick Boseman is not in it, and dude, just no. S tier. I have seen a lot of movies, but there are only 3 that I truly despise. Those 3 being The Transporter 3, the worst movie of all time, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. This movie just sucks. Throughout the first and second Ant-Man movie, mainly the first, and the second he was kind of an idiot, we learn that Ant-Man is a really smart and resourceful guy who knows his shit. Sorry, pardon me for my language, but, it's a way to describe him. And Paul Rudd plays the character really well. Now, in the third movie, though Paul Rudd's performance is still quite good, all of that intelligence that Scott Lang had in the previous movies is just gone. This movie sucks. I hate everything about it. It's in my top 3 worst movies of all time, as I just said. There are a few redeeming features, those being the fact that... Actually, you know what? There are no redeeming features. I was just going to say that MODOK is really funny, but he's just not. Movies like this, normally, if you switch your brain off, you can get something out of watching it. Hell, you can even do that with The Transporter 3 if you switch your brain off. But even if you switch your brain off with this, you still notice the flaws. The CGI is atrocious, character development is just non-existent, and the worst part of this movie by far is MODOK. He is just insufferable, and I hate him, and I hate the movie. So, yeah. Definitely easy F tier, possibly, in fact, it is the worst movie on this ranking so far. If I'm being totally honest, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 just sucks. Is what I would be saying if I were the biggest idiot in the universe. This is easily, in fact, it is the best movie on this ranking so far. It surpasses No Way Home and Shang-Chi. It's a really cool movie. It's an emotional roller coaster, lots of very sad scenes. Even if you haven't seen any other MCU movie or any other Guardians movie, if you just watch this on its own, you will definitely cry at one point. It's really depressing, but it's a really good movie with incredible acting performances from all the cast. It's a wonderful wrap to the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy and an end to those characters. And it does a good job at introducing new characters who will also be important for the future of the MCU, I think. It's rather unclear, but yeah, this movie is an easy S tier. I could talk about it for hours on end. I love everything about it, and I think I've said enough, so easy S tier. The Marvels is actually not too bad. Don't get me wrong, it sucks, it's terrible, but it's one of those movies where, as I've said before, if you switch your brain off, you can enjoy the hell out of it. So, the acting in this movie is actually pretty good for most of the characters. My main downside of this movie is the villain, whose name I think is Darven, emphasis on I think. She's just really forgettable. Her motives are good, they make sense, but she's just really bland, and I don't think they could have done anything more interesting with her character, because that character is just that character. And what they did was just really underwhelming. They could have given her some sort of personality. So yeah. But my main positive about this movie are the three leads and the chemistry between them. The best part about this movie is easily Iman Vellani's performance as Ms. Marvel. Very underrated TV show, by the way. I'll talk about that in a future video. But yeah, she's definitely the standout of the movie. She makes it enjoyable, and her comedic timing and line delivery is really good. I wish I could say the same for the rest of the cast. Fiona Paris and Brie Larson are good as the other two main leads, but still, nothing really fits in this movie. It butchered Nick Fury's character, well, Samuel Jackson's character, really. But yeah, I don't really have any positives to say other than if you switch your brain off, it's pretty enjoyable, but if you look at it as a movie, which is what I'm supposed to do in these rankings, it's not really good. You can still get something out of watching it, but not too much. So I am going to have to give it a C tier right next to Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes! 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 Yes!
I'm thinking of a really funny, masterful, great, incredible movie. I'll give you a minute to guess what it is. Have any ideas? No? Well, if in case you didn't guess, it was Deadpool and Wolverine. Congrats if you did. Also, this movie is incredible. It's peak. The acting in it is awesome. Comedic timing is brilliant. My only downside of this movie is that the CGI is appalling sometimes. Sometimes it's really good. Other times, it's appalling. There's a scene, I can't show it because of copyright reasons, where Wolverine just looks like a PNG on a PS4 game. But yeah, the movie in itself is great, the story is really good, and all the characters are awesome. The fight scenes are really well choreographed, and yeah, it's peak. Easy S tier. But I do have a little nitpick about it. The villain, Cassandra Nova, is kind of underwhelming. But yeah, other than that, the movie is just absolute peak. It's a real showing that if you give a creator enough creative liberty, then they will cook. Because in case you didn't know, the first Deadpool movie almost never even happened. If you want to see a movie covering that, a video covering that, then let me know in the comments. Easy S tier. Do I really have to talk about this movie? Really? Yeah, okay. It sucks. Okay, I want to make one thing crystal clear. I do not dislike this movie. I think it's quite good. I saw what they were going for, but they didn't execute it well. The movie is really bland, and it feels more like an Incredible Hulk sequel than it feels like a Captain America movie. And also, this should have come out like straight after Endgame. It should have been like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then this two-part movie event. I don't know, something like that. Why was this a sequel to a TV show? That's why it flopped, because no one watches all of the TV shows, and a lot of people didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so they didn't feel obligated to see this. And I do accept Sam Wilson as the new Captain America, but he was very underutilized in this movie. The fact that Red Hulk was the main character, also, P.S., Red Hulk was the best part of the movie, and he was in it for 5 minutes. Great performance by Harrison Ford. The thing is that Anthony Mackie isn't the main character in this movie. Captain America is not the main character in this movie, and that doesn't make sense. Red Hulk is the main character, and he's also the second main villain underneath the leader. You guys know the leader, right? The guy who cut his head open at the end of The Incredible Hulk in 2008. Nearly 10 years ago? No, in fact, it was 10 years ago. Nearly 20 years ago now. Oh my god, I'm old. Yeah. So, the movie is pretty okay, and I don't know what else to say about it. It kind of sucks, but it's pretty okay. So, slap it right in B tier, probably. Thunderbolts is up there with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 as one of the best written movies in the Multiverse saga. It's just really, really good. I don't know what to say about it without spoilers. The cast does an incredible job. It does a great time balancing humor. A great job, not a great time. What am I saying? It does a great job balancing humor with action and serious and emotional moments. The cast is incredible, especially Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova. And definitely the standout of the movie is Hopper from Stranger Things. By what I meant to say, Alexei Shostakov or the Red Guardian, David Harbour. Seriously, this guy is so funny in everything he's in. It was funny, when I watched Black Widow for the first time, I was like, why is the dude from Stranger Things here? Because that was all I knew him from. He was the dude from Stranger Things. And now, he is part of the Avengers with a Z. Oh, sorry, that was a big spoiler. Yeah, but you probably saw it all over the marketing when it came out. But, yeah, this movie is awesome. Sorry for the spoiler, but you probably already knew from the marketing. Yeah, this movie is really great. I love everything about it. So, easy S tier, probably the best written movie in the second part of the MCU.
Final!
And now we're on the final movie of the second part of the MCU, The Fantastic Four First Steps. And if I could describe this movie in one word, pretty sure it would be fantastic. Sorry, that was corny, I know. Yeah, boo, sorry. Anyway, this movie is really, really good. I didn't want to say fantastic again. The cast all round does a solid job. I was doubtful about Pedro Pascal before going to see the movie, but he really delivered. And it seems yet another member of the Stranger Things family is joining the crew, that being Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch. And he's probably my favourite part of the movie, just underneath the Thing, whose name I can't remember, the name of the actor, sorry. Yeah, the movie is really good. I enjoy it a lot. It's definitely the best Fantastic Four movie that we've ever had. And to be honest, it doesn't take much. I mean, what's the competition? The 2005 movie? Nostalgic, but was it really that good? The 2007 movie was terrible. Galactus was a cloud. And then the 2015 movie, we all know that one was a masterpiece, right? Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm not that stupid. So yeah, this movie is really good. Though it isn't, I mean, it's definitely the least of the movies in S tier, like the one with the least pizzazz, but it's still going in S tier because I do love this movie, and I'm definitely going to rewatch it lots of times before I go to see Doomsday. And there you have it, my full ranking of every MCU movie post-Endgame, aka the Infinity Saga. Nope, sorry, Multiverse Saga. Yeah. So, there you have it. That's my ranking. And I just want to give you guys a quick reminder that if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more like it, then subscribe. For the people who are subscribed and have been waiting for this video, I'm really sorry of how long it took. I had lots of problems with the editing software and switched to a new one halfway through, which is miles better and a lot easier to edit with. So you can probably expect monthly videos from now on. Probably. I'm not making any promises. So yeah. And one more thing. If you did subscribe, then that's great, because when I get to 500 subscribers, I will do a ranking of every single episode of Stranger Things. I know I've mentioned it twice throughout this video. So yeah, if you want to see that, then subscribe, because at 500 I will do it. And this is another goal for the distant future. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I might do a ranking for every episode of Invincible, because all the seasons should be out by then. So yeah, peace. Bye.